Live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studio and the Gurkha Cigar Studio in the great state of New Hampshire. Welcome to the Smokin Tobacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Smokin Nicole.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tobacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTobacco.com, and I'm not joined by Smokin Nicole tonight because Smokin Nicole suffered a small little concussion yesterday. It was child's play related. Don't worry. I didn't push her down the stairs. Not this time. But in studio, which is nice. I like when we can do this. I have with me Mr. Oliver Nivaud of United Cigars.
What is up?
Welcome into the studio.
I'm sorry that Nicole's not here. I love filling her spot, though. I'm glad there was a little opening for me to sit locally. But yeah, that's a tough little thing she's going through.
Yeah.
Concussion.
Yeah, her head was bothering her pretty bad
Yeah.
today. And I said, you know what? Maybe for today, being down there with the smoke under the lights and all that, probably not the best idea.
Right. And the energy has to be up, right?
Yeah.
That's hard to do when you're going through that.
It is.
Constant, right? The pressure's just sitting there.
And it's in the face, too,
right.
because it was Anastasia who hit her, like, right in the nose. So it's right here. So, yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But we're here.
You have kids. You know how it goes.
I know how it is. Boy, if I get donked by my son at this point, he's 6'1", 227.
Yeah.
I might be down for a lot longer.
Yeah.
That's gonna be brutal. Birthday tomorrow. I want to announce that on the show. Happy pre-birthday.
Thank you.
In a couple hours. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Gotta celebrate these.
The good old 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2.
You remember those days.
I remember those days. I got 20 on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Are you sharing your news or no? I don't want to burst your bubble.
Oh, that I'm turning. That news. I didn't share it, but yeah, sure, go ahead.
I don't want to take this from you. You can say no. They don't even know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody needs to know.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, it's
no,
also it's also a congratulations to Oliver.
no,
Oliver is he's throwing his hat back into the three-ring circus again.
Yeah.
He is now engaged.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Right back in it, but no, good lady and supportive.
Yeah.
Finding somebody that's okay with you smoking cigars is already hard enough. And somebody that embraces it and can share that, as you know, right? Having somebody that can share those moments with you and a cigar is very special.
I thank my lucky stars every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because I hear horror stories.
Me too.
Right? I know we stink after we come back from a big event or something, but some people, if they're smoking one cigar or something, clothes have to be stripped off at the door. Don't come in the house. Why are you doing that again? So all that stress that was just relieved from smoking, and some of them you can even see them when they're getting ready to leave or they're talking about it in the lounge. They're not taking away their stress, right? So they're not fully relaxed, and then they're stressing out the rest of the lounge because that's what they're talking about. Sometimes it helps the lounge because everyone's making fun of them, but
it's fun for everybody else.
Right, it's fun for everybody else.
Yeah, no, it's true because then you're stressing out because well, after this, I got to go home, and you're thinking about the routine. I got to strip in the garage. I got to get in the shower. I got to brush my teeth 4 times. You hear the horror stories. You get the guys in the wintertime who got to set up the tent out in the yard. Yeah. And they got to smoke out in the tent.
Yeah.
You
have
for
a
them.
phenomenal setup here, by the way.
I'm very lucky.
Not only for the studio, but because this is even professional. This is very well done.
We do our best.
This is your little man cave. And,
it is.
And with your line of work and your knowledge in the handyman side, the ventilation is phenomenal.
Yep.
Love it.
Ventilation, digital lighting control.
Setting the tone.
That's right.
Like it.
Yeah.
So excited to be here. No, thank you. Thank you for bringing me into the studio.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, you're local, so it's easy. I try to get people as they pass through town to come by. Few have been in here, but as they come, I like to, try to get people in because it's cool. It's fun. It's in studio is a different dynamic. I mean,
it's more intimate.
We've done hundreds of shows with people dialing in. You've dialed in almost every time. Yeah. I mean, and that's just it works, and that's how we do the show. But the intimacy of the in studio is nice.
I think I dialed in on the first show when Nicole couldn't be here because you had a big announcement that wasn't announced.
That's right. You were one of the first people we told.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was about this time that year that we, because, this
I'm
was
a December guy, I think, for you.
This was around the time we found out.
Yeah.
It was before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of milestones on this show.
Yeah, a lot of milestones.
Yeah.
On the
A
show.
lot of big life events, yeah.
At the trade show. We got engaged at the trade show.
Yeah.
We got married at the trade show.
You guys
Almost
all
had the
wrapped
baby
up.
at the trade show. She was 8 months pregnant, and they were like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I
show
still
floor.
have time."
Right.
I'm like, "I'm technically not like really riding the line.
Right.
Like I got time." And she was late too. She was 41 weeks. So I was,
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. She was not happy.
Yeah.
She's like, cut it out. And they're like, well, we're going to wait. She's like, I've had enough.
Yeah. No, they go through a lot over those 9 months.
And then, after that, I mean, when we found out she was pregnant, she stopped doing the show and, of course, everything that was going on. We had a very busy couple of years, and now we're at a point where we've been able to bring Nicole back full time, and I think it's great because I think people really like, seeing Nicole, and people always ask me about Nicole. As much as we've had some great people on the team over the years, people always, where's Nicole? How's Nicole doing? So I think people were really excited when she came back full time last week. She's like, are people sick of me yet? I go, trust me, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're more sick of me than they. I've been here for over 500 episodes of this show and the other show combined. I'm like, they're not sick of you. They're probably sick of me.
No, and like we said before we were on, the dynamic, the two of you, it just adds a different layer that no other show has. Yeah,
it's very unique. There's not a lot of couples doing shows, or the caliber that we do it. And I was talking to Nicole the other day. She couldn't come to the trade show last year because Anastasia had the surgery. So that was the second trade show that she had to miss. But God willing, I don't think we have any more issues, unless things happen. But
life always happens.
She's planning on coming to the show next year, and she's like, I think I'm gonna do some interviews. I'm like, yeah. So now she's like looking forward to doing her own interviews at the show and this and that. Awesome. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she's got good energy. One, just in general, but two, she's excited about it. Right. So that's a positive.
Yeah, and she hasn't obviously gotten to smoke as much as I have too. So when she does get to smoke, it's like it all comes back.
Right.
And it's like, which is nice because that energy just flows right in.
100%.
She doesn't have to fake it.
Right.
It's good.
No, that's good. And we're smoking to kind of celebrate those moments, smoking the La Giana 30th.
That's right.
There's a little glow.
This was number 5 on our list last year. I forget where we had it. It was up there.
Yeah, it was up there. And it was, quieter release.
Yeah.
Right? But you put it on the list, and we appreciate that. And a cigar that you've shared, that you love and continue to love. So wanted to share that with you today.
Well, I appreciate you, Oliver. It really is good. And the thing is, which first of all, let me just say this, especially with you here, our cigars, once again, brought to you by the number 2 guyscigars.com. That's right, the number 2 guyscigars.com. Head over there today for an amazing selection of cigars and accessories from brands you know and love, and maybe a few you haven't quite discovered yet. Do yourself a favor, do us a favor, head over there today, place an order, and show them some love, because they show us love every week by being here with us, only at the number 2 guyscigars.com. Barber poles are tricky.
Yes.
As you know, you've been in this business long enough. I mean, and that's not to say that barber poles are always bad or anything like that, but barber poles are tricky. You got 2 different wrappers. There have been a lot of barber poles that have come and gone over the years from different brands, people doing it, and some of them hit it, some of them don't. So I think when people see a barber pole, they automatically get skeptical. And whatever their process is whatever they do. When I saw this cigar, I don't generally look at barber poles this way. I look at it, I'm like, oh, cool, okay. And I remember when you guys first showed this cigar at PCA in 24 last year, right? It was 24?
20.
Was it 23? No, it was 24.
It was 24.
You showed it 24. It came out 24. It made the list for 24. We're in. Yeah.
Yep.
I always have to do that.
I know. Because the show moved, right? And we're at the end of 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
And then I'm always like, well, the list is the year before. But then I'm like, no, that made the list of that year. But I remember because that was the last time we were in Vegas.
Right.
And this cigar came out, and you gave it to me. And I said, okay. And I had it with all my samples from the show. And I was like, I need a cigar. And I remember I said, I'm going to smoke that. And I smoked it. And I was like, whoa, this is really good. And it was like the last day, or maybe the second to last day. I can't remember. But I had a little extra time on the floor. And I remember I don't usually smoke on the floor because on the media side, for me, there's just too much going on.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Like for you guys,
especially with equipment, like just in
yes,
right.
Exactly. You get the microphone,
Right.
or like I'm with so and so, but I'm smoking so and so cigar, and I don't like to do the thing where I'm constantly throwing cigars away because I hate waste, and I just don't smoke. But I had some time and I wanted a cigar, and I remember I went back into the booth, and you were in there in your awesome suit, all dolled up, looking fantastic.
Trying my best.
And I was like, hey, do you have any one of those La Giana 30s? And you were like, didn't I already give you some? I'm like, you did, but like, I like really want one right now. And you're like, hey, yeah, okay. And I remember you gave it to me, and I was like, thank you. Because I very rarely bother people for cigars, too. And I was just like, but I was like, I really want this right now.
Yeah.
And I lit up the second one, and I was like, I sat down. It was when they were doing the Women of PCA meeting.
Yes.
Because Nicole was over there.
Right.
And I think Dave was over there too. And I went over there and I sat down with them and I cut it and I lit it and I was like, fuck. I'm like, this is good. And I sat there and I genuinely, no bullshit, I sat there and I smoked that cigar and I enjoyed it so much. And I was like, this cigar is great. And I sat there in Vegas on the show floor and I texted Trevor back home.
Yeah.
I said, you got La Giana 30th in the store? Yep. Put a box aside. He's like, okay. I was like, put it aside. And the second I got home, I went into the store and I bought it. And I was like, yep, I want it. And he was like, wow, you're right. I goes, yeah. I was like, I tried it with Oliver and I need to have a box. Yeah. And he was like, okay. And it was just like done. I just was like, it was the first release from that show I bought.
Wow.
The second I got home.
Yeah, that's humbling. And that's why, like when you came, and I was like, you're just making sure. I was like, yeah. Tonight, I wanted to make sure that I had given you one. It wasn't so much of, well, I gave you one. I can't give you another one.
No, I know.
And especially when you came back, and because you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And almost like, well, could I really have enjoyed it that much? I want to try it again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That to me is still, even after all these years. I've been doing this since '98, like a long time. Even after all that time, for you to come back, it's just humbling, because there are so many cigars that you can choose from. But for you to say that you wanted to smoke one again, like it meant a lot. And it still to this day means a lot. We're still a growing company, which when we look at the year, this was a challenging year for a lot of manufacturers, retailers, and just the industry as a whole.
Right.
A lot of moving parts. And we're still fortunate that we were able to see some growth. We're growing across the board because people are starting to pick up on the name United and different lines that we do have, because that portfolio is pretty extensive. So for things to kind of pop out for people, I just get this little kiddish smile when I walk into a shop and they're like, oh, you have Firecracker, or of course, like we have Atabey, right, which is like the our big name in our portfolio. But for someone to say Firecracker or Gold Star or Red Anchor or something like that is it's humbling, and I absolutely love it. And this one was a little bit of a what direction do we go in to celebrate 30 years of La Giana for Dave's daughter. And at first it was do we do a barber pole? I was kind of, hesitant to even present it, like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is my idea. Kept the packaging the same, but I wanted it gold and, to just pop to celebrate 30. But how do you really celebrate, the natural and the Maduro? And I wanted it to be a little bit more robust, right? A little more strength to it. and it ended up being a barber pole. But to me, barber poles, we're always kind of like, you look at it and like, is that gimmicky, right? Is that
Exactly.
You don't see a lot of people smoking barber poles in the lounge,
Right.
right? They might buy it and then bring it home and kind of smoke it in their room when they're by themselves.
Like, hey, no one's going to see
right,
me.
no one's going to see you smoking a barber pole. But yeah, there's some great barber poles out there that are kind of lost in that shuffle, and this was one that was, at first it was like, well, do we get a barber pole? Should we bring it in? What's it like? But yeah, people started to smoke it and enjoyed it, and we're going to continue doing the 30th anniversary as a kind of ongoing production in the portfolio.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's really good because I mean, this cigar is fantastic.
Yeah,
and it's a great price point too.
It's 12. I think it's still 12, right around the $12
Yeah, wait,
mark.
yeah, is it?
Right. Yeah, but to celebrate 30 years, could have been a higher price point, but that's just, when you look at our portfolio, we try to be fair across the board. We never really just bring something out and say this is the price, at a higher markup. When you look at selected tobacco and you see those price points, I don't want to say you can justify it, but we start to say, well, you have to understand what selected tobacco is and the aging process that goes into this cigar. If you look at spirits and wines, when they sit in a barrel, and a Macallan 12 is at a certain price point, Macallan 15 is going to be more expensive, 25 is going to be more expensive. So selected tobacco, I say justify, but that it's at that price point because an Atabey has a minimum of 5 years of post-roll aging. Right, and humidor is lined with a blend of 5 different cedars, lowering and raising humidity so that the cigars can breathe in, just like a barrel. Right, during the colder months it contracts, and during the warmer months it expands. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that same process. So if you enjoy, finer spirits, finer wines, then you are going to enjoy an Atabey, Byron, or Bandolero even, which is aged at a minimum of 1 to 2 years. Yeah, or Alfonso was a great hit.
Yeah.
For us. I wish that production kind of picked up a little bit because that's still a small production. Really, all selected tobacco's production is like a limited release for everyone else, because he produces 500 cigars a year on average. But on hand, he has about 3 million cigars because they're going through that aging process.
Right.
So to wrap your head around that, it's like, it doesn't make sense. But he wants to make sure that the cigars are ready to hit the market and aged already for you.
Very meticulous.
Incredibly meticulous.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where, and he's not the only one, but there are not many like that. He's part of a very elite
Being
group.
Meticulous.
Yeah, with the way.
Sure.
All of it.
Right.
From the blending all the way to the design, the blending, the aging, and just everything. Making sure that when you go into the store, you buy that box and you bring it home and you crack it open and you take that cigar out. Mm. I mean, you're ready for perfection every time.
Yeah.
And it's really a lot easier said than done. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that. There's a lot of good cigars on the market. You go into a cigar, you can walk into Two Guys today. You could walk in there and you could grab almost any cigar off the shelf and you'll cut it and you'll smoke it. Whether you personally like it or not is kind of subjective to you personally, right. But the cigars are, they're there.
There's some great cigars on the market.
But
absolutely.
To be like Nelson, and the others that are, I would say, on that upper tier list where just everything about it is, that's not easy to do.
No.
It really is not. And I think until you've been in factories and you've been with those people like you have and I have, and you see the process and you understand, it's like, oh shit. And then you maybe go to this factory and you go to that factory and you start to, over time, you're like, everybody knows how to make cigars and they do a good job, but you start to notice the nuances that everyone has their own little thing and that kind of sets them apart. And then when you start having those conversations about like yields on tobacco and this and that, like I talked to me, I was like, oh, well, we lost 30% last year of our wrapper production because we had a storm or whatever, and then now we only have this, and
right.
And all those little things that like no one talks about, no one really cares about, but it all adds up.
Right, and it depends where you lost that tobacco.
Right.
Right, because in the fields, if you lose the tobacco in the fields, that is going to be for your production down the line, depending on what their their process is and their aging is, but it could be that's going to be 3-4 years down the line, so you have to then project it project it out. But no, I mean there are many in the cigar industry that are very meticulous about the production of the cigars, but there's no one else in the industry that takes those extra steps that Nelson does for the aging, which is what I think really distinguishes his lines from anyone else.
Yes, especially the aging.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's aging, and then there's his process, right? And that process is so unique. In fact, I'll be going out to Madrid in January to kind of start organizing some trips, because he has a large manufacturing and storage aging facility out in Madrid that he's been working on for the last, I think, 4 years. So that's going to be that'll be ready, and just to be able to witness that on hand. He has 2 stories of aging rooms. So to imagine a production from 2025, that's not ready until for Atabey, at least until 2030. But that production that was rolled in 2025 goes into that aging room. 2026 production does not go into that same aging room. It'll go into a different aging room, because you can't mix. You can't mix the 2025 production with 2026, because as it's going through that process and the cigars are purging the impurities, because you're lowering humidity, right? So the cigar starts to shrink. It's purging any other impurities inside of the cigar, and then it breathes in all those cedar notes. It can't mix, so to speak, with a younger cigar. So he has all these. He's got about 20. I think it's 25 different aging rooms that he'll be, resting the cigars in. It's amazing.
Yeah. So like, does he separate like the Atabeys and the Byrons and all that stuff too, like by year, so that way like the Byrons of 25 are in here, and then or the Grand Poemas are in here, and so on and so forth. So that way, like even blend specific, you're keeping kind of everything separated, so you don't tarnish the flavor profile or whatever it's going to be in the end. So that way it's as controlled as possible.
Yeah, he's not gonna put the Bandoleros in with an Atabey, and the Alfonso line, the Byron 1850, and even the Atabey Blacks. Those are all aged in different rooms where he uses the French oak. Yeah, so that's a completely different room. So he's very particular in that the wood. He believes that and from smoking it, I believe it too. The wood plays such an important role in the aging.
When he did the French oak specifically, I remember that did stand out. You could taste a difference.
Yeah, I think I taste it more in like the 1850 line.
Yeah,
I really start to taste that French oak, but it really plays a part in that, in the complexity of the cigar.
It does. Yeah. It really stands out. It really helped those cigars, not in a bad way, but just separate themselves from everything else. Yeah. The ones that don't have it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even like the Alfonso Grand Selection, or it's selection,
yeah.
All the names are so similar. I get them all mixed up.
There's the Añejo and the Grand Selection.
Right. Even that one, I remember when that came out. It was such a different profile, and there was a difference there. Same with the Byron 1850. I think with the Añejo, I don't think it stood out as much. Maybe that had something to do with, I think it has a lighter wrapper, maybe not as deep. Like for the 1850 and like the Grand Selection are a little darker, maybe a little more boldness there. Maybe it comes out. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's almost, you could kind of taste it more in those blends. But it was there, and it really separated them and kind of gave them their own identity.
Yeah, because it starts out as a stronger blend. So the Alfonso line, right, named after his family, and why he might kind of develop that Alfonso line, you have the Alfonso Añejo and Gran Selección. The Añejo has that lighter Ecuadorian wrapper, and that represents his 2 sons. The Alfonso line represents his 2 sons. So you have Atabey and Byron as if they had a child, and his youngest son looks more like Nelson's wife, so it looks more like his Nelson Jr. or Fabio, the son, looks more like his mother. So you have more of like 75% Atabey blend in that one and 25% Byron.
Okay.
And then in the Gran Selección, which is more like Nelson Jr., darker, looks more like his father, that's more of a 75% Byron, saying 25% Atabey. So they distinguish themselves like that. It's the blending, but you're going to have, I guess if you're an Atabey smoker and you want something a little more robust, that's where you start going to the Alfonso line, and you can kind of distinguish between the two. If you want that creamy, smooth, you go with the Alfonso, but Añejo, but it's going to have a little more body to it. And if you want something a little more palate forward, the Alfonso Grand Selection is going to give you that, the kind of that spice and that palate forward strength.
And that cigar was our cigar of the year in 23.
The Añejo.
Yeah. And I remember
Number 3.
I think we were number 4. Half Wheel was number 3 because they also gave it to you
Half
guys.
Wheel was 3, yeah.
They were number 3. We were number 4. And then I think Coop had it number 2 on his list last year or something like that.
Dojo had it as the luxury cigar of the year.
Yeah, they had it up there.
A different one, yeah.
So it made the rounds.
Yeah.
Wasn't too shocked, to be honest with you. But I remember when I first smoked it, I knew it was going to be a hit. And I'm like, this is on the list, and it's going to be high on the list. And I consider, and every year you smoke like a handful of cigars, and you're like, okay, this is in like the handful that are going to be considered at number 1. Right. You just kind of start being like this one. You start to figure out, and then you revisit it at the end. That one right away was like, this is a contender for me. No. And then Nicole smoked it, and then everyone else on the team smoked it. Mitchell smoked it. Mitchell smoked it 3 times. He was like, oh my god. And we just all fell in love with it. And the one thing about it was, and it's funny that you kind of explained the blending on that, because it was the reaction that most of us had was, this is like an Atabey, which is a little more, And it was like, yeah, if Atabey had just a little bit more, that's right here. Yeah. And I just remember, I think it was Mitchell who said it first, and I was like, yeah. And I'm like, I think that's why I love it so much. And we just couldn't stop smoking it. And, the rest is history. But, yeah, last couple of years, you guys have done well on our lists.
Yeah. Well, just to be recognized or talked about is still, we still, look at that as something special because it's, it's a very large industry. There are a lot of great cigars out there. So to be spoken about and especially with Selected Tobacco, Nelson, Alfonso's lines to be in our portfolio, we're very, very humbled to be a part of that and to help steer that growth of his brand, because I started with a company with United Cigars in 2016, and boy, when I tell you it was a challenge to convince people that these cigars were something special, that was a challenge. Right?
Yeah.
That didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, I remember it was like what, 2016 that started with you Selected, and you like all.
So 2012 it was rolled into the United portfolio.
Okay.
I didn't start until 2016.
Okay.
And really it was that's when the travel and everything started.
Yeah.
And introducing people to this line, because when I came, so I was in Vegas, and worked for a company out there for about 14 years, and then when I moved back east, learning about this line, I actually had a friend, Paul Giacalone, who was living in Massachusetts, and Paul Giacalone was one of the partners in One Off, the original One Off line, and he used to have Gloucester Street Cigar in Boston. So I knew him before I went out to Vegas, and then when he was presenting that line out, that's where I kind of reconnected with him. Mm-hmm. And then so moving back here, we reconnected, and we went up to see the Cigar Authority one Saturday, and just started the conversation with Dave, and they didn't have any representation nationally for the brands because he wasn't a distributor. He had the lines and he had United, but his own admission, he says he wasn't a distributor. He wasn't really traveling with it or anything. So starting with United Cigars, that first time I sat down, he was explaining Atabey, really explaining the portfolio. But when he gave me an Atabey, I cut it and I took a cool draw, and then I just kept doing a cool draw for what I remember as about 5 minutes, because it just felt like something special, something I hadn't really smoked before or tried before. And then when I lit it up, and then he's telling the whole story of Nelson and Atabey, and I just fell in love with everything, and then the potential to now show this to everybody and be a part of a very, very small company at the time, and still very small, was a challenge that I wanted to take on. And really just kind of, when you start traveling and you see people light up because they're smoking something, even if they start off a little, jaded from, the industry stories, that we've all heard and been burned by before.
Yeah.
To sit down and say, hey, this cigar is 5 years old and this is what we do. And right, everyone's got special tobacco. Everyone has tobacco that's aged. And it's what they do with it that makes it even more special.
Right.
So to talk with a retailer and explain this before they light it up, they're like, listen, every cigar costs $1. Every cigar is this. Every cigar is this. And then they light it and they're like, oh wait, well, this is a little different. So then to see that kind of come to life, it was pretty special. And still to this day, we go to I'll go in some accounts and they haven't heard of any of the lines. So to introduce them that, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I first started coming around to you guys end of 17, early 18, and it was there. So I know it had been in the store for a little while at that point, but I do remember when it still kind of wasn't that big of a deal yet, and to watch it over the last several years and being at the shows and seeing you there and doing your thing, and Nelson and the industry now like recognizing it more and kind of watching it really take off, which is what you've really been doing, and watching you, the outside of Selected, the United brands popping up one by one. Red Anchor, Gold Star, Yaya. You guys brought in Arnold Andre. I mean, you expand with La Giana, just all the little things, and watching it grow. And now looking back, being like, it's not that long of time, but it's enough time. You look back and like, shit, like you guys really have come a long way. And yeah, maybe you guys aren't J.C. Newman, been around for 135 years.
Right,
but,
right.
But having said that, you guys have accomplished a lot. You have really grown.
Thank you.
You've really expanded. The recognition across the country. Yeah, I mean, you guys have some serious skin in the game at this point, and you guys have done very well.
Yeah, thank you. And it's at a different pace. We don't, being small and just not having, similar budgets really as some. It's a challenge. But starting out, I was making all the calls out.
Yeah.
Right. Now there are calls coming in for accounts, which is again, I'm abusing it, but I say humbling. But it is incredibly humbling. And I just want to work with good people. That's it. This industry, we have a lot of them, but we have some in the industry not so great, a little hard to work with on all sides, customer sides, in the lounges, retailers and manufacturers across the board. There are just some, and there are some that probably don't even want to work with me because I might have rubbed them the wrong way for whatever reason. But I'm pretty easygoing until I'm might be pushed a different direction. But it's an industry where we got into it because we loved it. Right. I think for most, unless unless it was a family business, for most of us, we got into it to where we are now because it was something that we shared with someone, or maybe we ventured into it on our own. But it's such a personal touch, and then we loved it that we got into it. So it's just it's very special, and that's why I say it's very humbling for all of this to be recognized. And now the world's so much smaller. In fact, I was on a flight back. Where was I from? I was coming just within the last month. I was coming back from somewhere, might have been Montana or Tennessee. But on the flight, there was a guy who lives in California, and he was heading back to Charlotte to see his family just right before, I think it was right before Thanksgiving. And he goes, just out of the blue, he goes, "You're Oliver from United?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I love love this cigar, that cigar." I was like, "This is incredible." Like, just to have a world that small.
Just some guy on the street being like, "Hey, I know you."
Some random person. But that's how, the social media side kind of makes it the world so much smaller that, you run into some people that just, will recognize you. And by no means am I saying anywhere close to celebrity status in the business, but you just get recognized, and it makes it special to be able to share, that passion and that cigar. So I gave him a couple cigars. We're right on the flight. He was with his wife and small kid, and he was across the aisle from me, so shared a couple cigars with him that he was going to take home and smoke over Thanksgiving. So
that's awesome.
Special. Yeah, it's great.
And see, but those are the interactions that's what makes it magical.
Yeah,
it's those interactions. It's the conversations you have in the lounge. That's what makes the cigar experience special.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like that story, not like a huge like you said, like celebrity, whatever. You're just doing you, and someone's like, I know who you are,
right.
and your cigars are fucking great,
right?
And you're just like, this is, but that's it. But it feels so good and special, but there's not a lot of industries out there. I think. I mean, how many people are out there being like, "Oh, you work for Diageo? Oh, I love your rum."
Right. No.
You know what I mean? No, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
No, maybe in the restaurant because something like that you get to see the chef, but they're back of house, and everyone doing all the work in the back of the house don't always get the recognition from the front. It's usually like the wait staff and the managers that get everything. They hear all the positive, but back of house. So just meaning all the work that you put in, you don't always get the the recognition or the I shared this. One guy shared a story. He didn't share the story. I should say, the lounge, the cigar shop owner shared the story that he was such a fan of Byron that he wanted his ashes to be put into the Poema jar, and that's how he was laid to rest. That's in Tennessee.
That's
amazing.
That's heavy.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing, but it's heavy. That's
heavy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. When you look at cigar shops, there aren't, maybe other businesses do it. I just haven't recognized it. But in cigar shops, you see a lot of people that have passed that are still, celebrated in the lounge.
Yeah.
Right, with a picture or something, and it's because we spend a lot of our time doing something that we love, and that's shared with that community. And sometimes the family doesn't even recognize it, right, until maybe a time passes and you go to the funeral and people have been recognized at the funeral saying, "Oh, you're Matt Tobacco. My husband," or whatever, listened to your show all the time. He talked about you all the time. Like that, then you start to understand, wow, like what I'm doing, these hours and this travel, or the hours you're putting in here, it has an impact, right? It means something, right? I believe it means something because I'm working, and yes, it's business, and we want to make money, and we want to have a life, and we have to pay for things. But outside of that, it means something to someone. So yeah, when you're doing your show, people are listening every week, or whatever they're doing, and their family, and you don't know it, you don't recognize it until, I don't know, you have an opportunity to meet that person, or someone of their family. But we have the industry, we have a big impact on people because this is very intimate. Smoking a cigar is very, very personal.
That actually happened to us recently. It was several months back, but it was this year. Nicole was starting to go through the storage closet, and she was getting rid of a lot of baby stuff and whatever we don't need. She put it on Marketplace, and a couple messaged her. They wanted to come grab some stuff, and I got the Mustang, and I got a vanity plate, which is my last name. Yeah. And it's in the garage,
which is perfect.
Yeah.
I
wanted SM.
Scripted it better.
I talked to Dave about this. I was so pissed. I remember I texted Dave when they shot it down. I wanted SMK TAB. I was gonna do that one first, and then I was gonna maybe do my last name like for my truck or something like that. But I was like, I'm gonna do SMK TAB for Smokin Tabacco. And they shot it down because they thought it was like smoking tabs of something else or whatever. And I was like, no, like I had to explain. I'm like, no,
Right.
it's an abbreviation. I'm doing a cigar thing. I remember texting Dave. I was like, Dave, what is this injustice? And he was like, oh man,
It's terrible.
because anytime there's just stuff like that, I know he gets a kick out of it. But I said, all right, I'll just do my last name. And I'm like, if they fight me on that, I'm like, that is my name. But they put it through, so I got it. But it was in the garage, and they showed up, and I think the husband was starting to put two and two together, and he saw my license plate, and he said, is your husband Matt Tobacco? She's like,
No way.
yeah. She's like, oh my God, like I know who he is. Like blah, blah, blah. She's like, really? She's like, yeah, I'm a cigar guy. I was like, no shit. And then she was like, hold on. She came down here and she got some cigars. She's like, here's some cigars.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
She was like, some guy came to the house and he was like, I know who your husband
From
is.
Facebook Marketplace.
And I was just like, wow.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's so small, and we sometimes we're fixated on the small things that don't matter. But the bigger picture is that's what we should focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're doing something special.
We're providing a service in a way.
Yeah, we're helping people. Share moments.
Yeah.
With others, and it might be a conversation with a random person, or you're sharing a moment for a wedding or a
Special occasion.
Special occasion.
Yeah.
Right. You're a part of that, and it's special.
Someone once said, "A cigar is only as good as the moment," or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like a cigar is only as good as the moment when you smoke it, or what you're doing or whatever.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's a $500 cigar, if it's a $10 cigar, or if it's whatever that moment is, the people you're with, what you're doing. That's really what makes that cigar. It doesn't matter what the cigar is.
Right.
It's what you're doing with it.
Yeah, sometimes, but yes.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right.
I bet to differ a little bit.
Right.
but yeah, and that's true.
Right.
And that's true. And I think that's what we preach all the time, because it is true, and I think that people need to remember that. And I think that people who don't smoke cigars really need to understand that, because there's so much judgment that gets passed on this thing. And it's like, it might not be for you.
Right.
But there's a lot of elements to this thing that you don't understand, respectfully.
Right.
That if you took 2 minutes to understand, I'm not asking you to be a cigar smoker, but understand why we do it. I understand maybe you don't like smoking. I can sit down and I can explain to you in 5 minutes why this and cigarettes are two different things. Because you're probably predisposed about cigarettes, and I agree, they're disgusting.
Right.
Cigarettes are nasty. I think Carlitos said it in Hand Rolled. It's like comparing a chimpanzee to a dolphin. They're both mammals. One lives in the ocean, one lives on land.
Right.
It's like, the tobacco plant, but it's very, very different. Very, very different.
One eats very clean. One's flinging shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And almost literally.
Completely,
I
right.
mean, this is a very special craft. And when you see the time and the love that goes into making them, and you go down to all the countries. You go to the factories. You've seen it.
Say I go to the Dominican. I have not been in Nicaragua or Honduras, and the cigars that we have coming out of there, like we have the Garofalo coming out of the Perdomo factory. They do a great job.
Right.
And I just haven't been there. And in Honduras, we have the Abuelo with JRE, and we have the La Giana out of the Diademas factory, which is a Camacho Davidoff umbrella. So great factories. Not that we don't have great factories in the Dominican, but we have so much produced in the Dominican.
Spread around.
That's where spend most of my time.
But you've been down there and you've seen the people. You've met as have I.
Right.
And I think that when you go down there, it's very humbling in itself. And you meet those people. And I'll tell you, when I first went to the Dominican, and I walked into a real factory, there was a lot of emotion for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on. But you pick up on people, because we're all people. So you pick up the people first, and you see them in there. You see them
Personalities.
Yeah.
You start to see come out.
Yeah, you see that. You see the personality. You see like the way they live. And I'm watching people who make less than like, you know, a lot of people here make, and they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming into work, and maybe they're not making like what people here make, but a lot of them are still making more than a lot of people in their country are making, and they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't have a lot, but they're happy. They come in, they do their thing, and they love what they do.
Yeah.
You know, they like being at work. They like being in the factory. They like doing their job. And you come here and you see people who are making tons of money, and they hate the world.
Yeah.
They got privileges and luxuries that, you know, a lot of people dream of, and they're miserable.
They're miserable.
And you see this guy down here making, what, $100 a week, maybe? And he's just like, I'm just happy I'm at work, man. And it's like that personality, that says a lot. You know, and and it's a cultural thing. You know, there's a lot. It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of different things. But you absorb so much in like that snapshot, right? You're just like, look at these people, like watching them come in for the day, you know, and it's just like, you really start to like, you get humbled.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of feel like a piece of shit because you're like, I think about when I go home and I'm like,
Yeah, you feel like a piece of shit when you're just ripping through a cigar.
Yeah.
You're not really in the moment.
yeah.
You know, like as a father, if you're spending time with your daughter and you're on your phone, you're not present.
Yeah.
You're not in that moment. And sometimes we smoke a cigar and we're just not in the moment. I found myself, you know, even when I was in my office and I could smoke at the other office before I went to the corporate or warehouse. There were times where I was lighting up a cigar and I didn't even realize what I was smoking. All right, so I wasn't appreciating the artistry behind the cigar. And when you go to the factories and you start to see the production and you start to see the work that goes into it and the number of hands and the attitudes, like you have a deeper appreciation for, or you should have a deeper appreciation for the cigar. All right, it's a completely different experience when you see it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I remember I came home from that trip and I just saw a lot of things different.
Yeah.
And
Life in general.
Yeah. Like not just the cigar, like cigars,
Yeah.
but like even just life.
Yeah.
Like you start to.
We're in such a bubble.
Yeah.
Sometimes. For some people, you're in such a bubble. You're talking about people that, you know, don't like their jobs and they might be making a very good living, but we're in such a bubble that we don't understand how big the world is, but how small it's become, and we see it. But just appreciating the small things.
And those people do.
Yeah.
Like they just appreciate that they can get up and they're alive and they have a place to go.
Yeah.
And
Life's better that way.
And, you know, maybe they're not living in a penthouse, but,
Right.
like, they come home at the end of the day, they have dinner with their families. And, you know, that's the other thing about these other cultures outside the U.S.
Yep.
They're very family-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know all the families in this business. And look at them.
Yeah.
They're so family-oriented. And, you know, it's not that we're not here, but, like, the family dynamic in an American household is different than in the Dominican Republic. Very different. I won't even argue that it is. They care more. I mean, I'm sorry, they do. You know, it's true, and I think that's another big part of like what makes it so special.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
I know, that's why we love it.
Yeah.
Couple of things. So I didn't want to stop our conversation because we're having a great conversation. But we don't want to say roll past because we're still going to do it. But we didn't do it earlier in the show. But want to give a shout out to our friends at ST Dupont because they are with us every week and we help them shake up the legacy at ST Dupont, featuring some of the newest products. These just hit the shelves, featuring the new Fuente collection with the Biggie lighter, the flat flame. This was our Not this design, obviously, because it just came up with the model itself. The Biggie is our 2024 accessory of the year. Fantastic lighter. I love this lighter. Very, very beautiful. As well as the cigar rest cutter from Dupont. I have... there it is. I have one that I've had that I bought it to you guys many moons ago. This one. That's my personal one. And I've had that since like pre-COVID, I think. And that thing is still sharper.
Yeah.
That thing is sharper than most cutters brand new that I've had.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day.
Yeah, it was a great cut.
I like right through. I mean, it's nothing but the best. And then, where is it? There it is. This is the new Defi Windproof Soft Flame Lighter. That's pretty good. You can check that out too. That's nice. Brand new. Windproof Soft Flame. So it's got both. It's got both the blue flame and the red flame in it. I believe what it is there's a torch goes around the soft flame that helps kind of reinforce it.
Interesting.
Les Mann told me he took it to Ireland and used it on the golf.
Les is a great guy.
Used it on the golf courses out there. Held up great because it's windy over there, and it's like, yeah, that thing was a champ. So that's brand new as well.
Good action on that.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. So ask your local retailer, and twoguyscigars.com, I believe, carries Dupont products, so you can always order from them. But ask your local retailer about SC Dupont products today and shake up the legacy. We also have our Perdomo trivia segment. That's right, trivia brought to you by Perdomo Cigars, featuring the 2024 Cigar of the Year, the Perdomo 30th Anniversary Sun-Grown Epicure. Perdomo Cigars stand for quality, tradition, and excellence. I stole that from Cigar Authority. But I did ask Dave. I said, Dave,
you could use it.
I said, Dave, can I use the cigars quality, tradition, and excellence? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I wanted to ask you first. You know, he was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, good. I didn't want to be like, you stole that, bro. I was like, no. It's an homage to you, but it also just, I love it so much, and it really just, it's short and sweet, and it drives the point home for Perdomo, because those guys are fantastic. I mean, Perdomo is...
great family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but anyway, Nicole she does our trivia every week, and Nicole put a selection of questions. Wow, she put a lot of them together. I don't know if we'll go through all of them.
So Escobar, while you're looking, Escobar Styles in there.
Yes.
I met him, and he picked up a special edition from Industrial Cigars, and invited me to share one with him. So we'll get that. We'll get that soon. We'll smoke one.
Industrial Cigars, they're an Atabey Lounge?
Atabey Lounge, first Atabey Lounge in Frisco, Texas, yeah.
Texas.
Yeah.
Right,
just north of, about 40 minutes north of DFW. But definitely a lounge to check out if you're in the area.
I've always wanted to go to Texas.
Yeah, it's great.
I've never been, and I've always wanted to go.
Oh, you got to go. It's massive, though, right? So to say I want to go to Texas, well, which part?
Yeah,
right.
I know.
It takes you longer to travel from Houston to Dallas than it does to travel across Mass.
Yeah.
Right? It's double. Like Mass, you can get across in 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Houston to Dallas, I think, is about 6 hours. So we have the Red Anchor Lounge in Tyler, Texas, in East Texas. That's about 3 hours just to get there.
Tyler, Texas?
Tyler, Texas.
Isn't that where Patrick Mahomes is from?
That I don't know.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think because that's why I'm like,
yeah.
Well, because I was thinking, I'm like, Tyler, Texas. I'm like, I think that's Tyler, Texas. I think that's where Mahomes is from. I think that's why that stood out to me. Because I know he went to Texas Tech.
Okay.
Which is, I think, close to Tyler, Texas. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is how my brain works.
Up, right.
I'm sorry.
Up in all the lounges.
I'm sorry. This is how my brain works. It just goes everywhere. Yeah. But Nicole did ask me for a topic, and I said, let's do baseball. I know you're a baseball guy, so I said this would be appropriate. So I have some questions here. We'll go through them. Let's see how. I think you'll do pretty good because I think you know your baseball.
Oh boy.
I think this one's going to be easy. You should know this one. If you don't know this one, then I'm going to be very concerned for you. Which MLB ballpark is the only one with a working manual scoreboard operated from inside the wall.
It's a Green Monster.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's easy. I don't know why
Thank you.
even. That's a soft toss. These are multiple choice. That one I didn't even read because that one was obvious. Who is the only pitcher to throw a no-hitter in both the American and National Leagues? And if you don't know it, I'll give you the multiple choice.
American
and National.
And National?
Yep.
I'd have to say...
Well, you go first.
I might be off. I'm trying to think of the teams. Nolan Ryan?
No.
Is he even on the list? Did he
He
play
is.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Pedro Martinez, Roy Halladay, Nolan Ryan, and Randy Johnson.
All right. I want to go with my boy Pedro. Did he throw one with Pedro?
No.
No. Well, then I'm left with two.
You're left with Halladay and Johnson.
Halladay and Johnson.
All very elite pitchers.
Yeah. No, I'm feeling bad. I'll go Randy.
It's Randy.
Randy Johnson, yeah. He's in Arizona now, living.
He lives in Arizona?
Yeah, lives in Arizona, shops at Cedar Room and Ambassador Cigars.
So he's a cigar guy?
Atabay. He's an Atabay guy.
Really?
Yeah, loves Atabay.
So have you met Randy?
I have not had the chance to meet Randy,
Oh.
but loves Atabay from what the shop's
From what they tell you, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I read something that said that he said he's quoted, and I don't know if it's because you read shit all the time.
Sure.
But he's quoted as saying, "You got to open the front of it." I think.
Oh. Yes, you do.
It flips down. I know it's random.
Quoted
no.
as saying,
But he was quoted as saying he doesn't keep a gun by the bed. He just keeps a bucket of baseballs, and if someone breaks in, he's just gonna throw a fastball.
I saw. I think that was. Didn't he have a documentary? I saw that.
Did he actually say that?
I think he's. Yeah. He
Yeah.
did say that.
I always like. Oh, that's true. I mean, if you broke into Randy Johnson's house, I mean, I'd almost rather get shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just come through a doorway.
Those are coming
woo!
Randy Johnson. So in two. So he was with Seattle.
Yeah.
And then Arizona.
He played for the Yankees.
He didn't get one with the Yankees.
No, he didn't get it with them, but he played for them. Because he played for like 4 teams, didn't he? He played Seattle, Yankees, Arizona. He won the World Series with them, right? No, one.
Yep.
Thought he played one more team. I know he played for those 3. I remember when I was younger, and he came to town.
Yeah.
I was there with my dad one day, early, when it's empty and they walk through, and my dad was like, "Oh, here come." I think it was when he was on the Yankees. He was like, "Oh, here comes the Yankees," and he walked by, and my dad was like, "Yeah, that's Randy Johnson," and I was like,
What's he? He's 6'7", right?
And I was like, "Wow, that's Randy Johnson." I was like 12 at the time.
Big unit.
Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit." He was big. Yeah, he's big.
It's a big dude.
Yeah. What a guy. Let's see, what's the next one? Which MLB player famously oh, that one's an easy one too. I don't want to skip that one. It was the Babe Ruth. Everybody knows that.
It's like, I need some layups.
I know. Which team was originally known as the Somersets before adopting their current legendary name? Oh, I actually didn't know this one.
The Somersets.
This is a tough one, and I'll give you a hint. It's a prominent American League team, and it was a nickname when they were their former name.
It was a nickname when they were
so they are now they had a former name that was like their mainstay name, and this was it sounds like this was like a nickname. Yeah, this was a nickname of their permanent name at the time. And this is an old team from the American League that we know very well. It's not the Red Sox, but
No. Jesus. I'm gonna need to go to the board.
Yankees, Dodgers, Pirates, or the Cardinals?
Yankees, Dodgers.
Yep. Pirates and Cardinals. This has got to be probably back early.
You said American League?
American League. I'm throwing that in there, so that eliminates Cardinals and Pirates and Dodgers. Oh, shit, I kind of gave it all away.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't read them all.
Wait a second.
Fuck! I ruined that one. It was the Yankees. So the Yankees, as the New York Highlanders, were nicknamed the Somersets early on.
Why Somersets?
I don't know. There's no explanation, but it was when they were the Highlanders. Because they became the Yankees,
when you said American League, I was like, well, wait a second.
Because they became the Yankees, what, in like the 19s? Because in the 20s, they were the Yankees.
Yeah. Yeah, what year? I don't know.
Like 1918, 1916, like when we were, the dynasty at the time.
Right.
Were they the Yankees yet?
The Yankees, wasn't it?
When did they become the the Yankees?
From the Somersets. I didn't know they were the Somersets.
Yeah, that's a new one for me, too. I was like, really? That's interesting.
It's good. Good to know.
Who is the only player to be named World Series MVP despite being on the losing team? Randy Johnson, Reggie Jackson, Bobby Richardson, or David Eckstein?
Eckstein. I haven't heard Eckstein in a while.
I know, right? Remember him?
Jesus.
I know, these are tough.
I don't think they'd be tough for, the Coops of the world.
I know.
He's very,
Coop would burn through these.
Yeah.
He would just, I wouldn't even need to do multiple choice.
No.
He'd be like, boom.
No,
It was in 1960 when he played for the Reds. It's like,
they're so...
He'd give you more information than you even need.
Right. They're so good at that.
That's what's so amazing about him.
What was it again?
Who was the only player to be named World Series MVP despite being on a losing team?
On losing team.
So a losing team member. And it was a ways back.
So take out Jackson.
Yeah.
And then next time, who else you give me?
Randy Johnson, David Eckstein, Reggie Jackson, and Bobby Richardson.
It's got to be Richardson.
Yeah. I'm trying to help you along.
Yeah.
They're tough.
Back. Yeah.
Normally, if there's no guest, I have to answer these, and I do just as well as you. It's a very humbling segment.
Right, yeah.
Your first question is always easy, and you're like, oh, I got this.
And there's so much baseball history.
I know.
Stats, numbers. I'm not there.
All right, I'll give you one more. This one you might know. Which pitcher was the first to reach 4,000 career strikeouts?
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah, this is where I'm not good. Yeah, give me.
Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver, Steve Carlton, and Roger Clemens.
Oh, the first. Seavers?
No, it wasn't Seaver.
Ryan?
It was Ryan.
He was a beast.
Dude, he was. I wish I could have seen him play.
Yeah.
I'm way too
young.
They
still, right? They don't know how fast he was really pitching.
They don't.
Because there were no...
What time period was he? Like 70s? 70s to 80s?
Yeah.
Like, you were around for that, right?
Mm.
Like, when you were young.
73, yeah.
Yeah, not really.
Not really recognizing it.
Yeah.
Ended with the Rangers?
I think so. Right? I think he ended with the Rangers.
He was still pitching in when he was 42?
Yeah, when he retired, like early 90s, I think.
Something like that.
Wasn't there a game when he got hit in the face?
Yeah.
There's that picture. He's all covered in blood, and he's still playing.
Yeah, hitting the lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, what a beast. He got blood all down the jersey, and he's still like, fastball. It's like, dude, go. Like, you know how many guys today would like get bumped in the arm and be like, oh, I got to go in the dugout.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go in the clubhouse. And this guy's got blood down his jersey. He's like, get out of here. I got 10 more batters.
Yeah.
He's just staring him down.
It's
like,
all contracts now.
Yeah, it's.
Those guys were just playing.
Well, but people and I don't want to get into the whole debate like with certain players, but it's like you get the people talk about LeBron and Jordan, and there's a lot of arguments that can be made there. But I'm like,
you start looking at some of those guys.
Yeah,
like the Pistons and even the old Celtics.
Yeah, I mean,
throwing hammers.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you seen guys today in the NBA? They're sitting down with like a sore ankle.
Right.
And you got Jordan out there. He could have had a broken wrist, and he'd be like, "I'm going."
He was still going, yeah.
I was at the finals with Pippen. His back was like he shouldn't have been out there.
Yeah, Bird for a while. The whole, Bird, Parrish, McHale when they were getting older, but just injuries when they were out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all the sports leagues today. It's more so about the contracts and the money and all that. It's like they there's no toughness anymore.
No, but and some of these, even the teams, they're protecting their investments.
That's true too.
Right?
Yeah.
It's different.
It's all about the money now.
Yeah. Different animal now. Completely.
I like watching those. You look back like those old games and shit. You see those guys, you're like, dude, the guy is tough. And then you see these guys today, and like, I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, you look at the old. The old matchups, Lakers, Celtics.
Yeah.
They were just plowing people.
Showtime.
And, different. Fun games to watch.
I know. I feel like in my lifetime I got to see like the tail end of it.
And the bench clearings, even in baseball, were more. Like they were a little more. They were serious bench clearings. Now it's just kind of.
Like I get excited to be able to say. Like in my lifetime, like I can remember, like that Red Sox-Yankees rivalry in the 2000s. Like I remember watching the game when Pedro threw Zimmer down. Like I remember watching that. You don't really see that anymore.
I don't think he was totally wrong. By the way, I'll go on record as saying I don't know if Pedro was completely wrong.
Yeah, I know. We gotta stick up for our boy Pedro.
Right.
Pedro is my favorite.
Those guys, they were just beasts because they were protecting their players too. Like if you did something, you knew that Pedro was coming out or even Clemens was coming out. They were going after somebody.
I was watching one of the documentaries with the Red Sox on the 04 team.
Yeah.
And they talked about that game when I think it was like Millar got hit or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, he come in the dugout and I say, who you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who you want?
Yeah.
I'll get him.
Yeah.
And he did.
And
I
two guys.
And I ran into over the summer Derek Lowe.
Oh wow, yeah.
And we were
part of the 04.
Yeah, we were at Fenway for a concert. He was there, and we just got to talking. And I said to him, I go, first of all, I said thank you for 2004 from the fan base. He was like, yeah. And then we started talking about it. And then he was like, the thing is, he's like, Pedro, he's like, Pedro was like our saint. Like Pedro, like he's like, people don't understand. Like in the clubhouse, he's like we stuck up for Pedro. We protected Pedro, and he took care of us. And like it was cool to like hear how even for them in the clubhouse, like the fans get excited about players, but to hear them be like, no, like we looked at Pedro the way you guys look at him too.
Right.
Like he would like that's Pedro.
Yeah.
Like even for them, it was like.
Pedro.
If you had your locker next to him, it was like, that's Pedro.
Right.
And, I go to the Dominican, and they ask you, like, oh, where you from? And you say Boston. And they're like, Boston. And sometimes you get David Ortiz. You're like, yeah. Ramirez. And I remember we were just down there a couple months ago. I went to the hotel, and they're like, where you from? I said, Boston. The guy looked at me, and he goes, Pedro Martinez. I go, yeah.
Pedro.
And it was like... It wasn't like it was like a, like love, respect, like that's our guy
they got shrines
from the Dominican. Like we're like they're proud that their people have gone, and it's like Pedro,
dominated.
And I'm like, Pedro, I love Pedro, and they're like, like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
No,
you have to be worried.
I loved him. And I to this day I get excited being like I got to see him play. Yeah. Like that's a big deal for me. It's like, and
to watch those games, you're watching future Hall of Famers. Like at the time, like
Yeah.
We went through a period there for Boston, right, which is really New England.
Yeah.
To see the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, the Red Sox, just watching Hall of Famers play.
Yeah.
Like, you knew it at the time, right? You see Brady, Gronk. You're watching all these teams winning championships, and it's like that wasn't like that when I was growing up. We didn't have the same thing and all lined up like that. That was something special.
I mean, you guys kind of had like the Celtics, but like, other than that, I mean, I mean, Patriots
Bruins,
almost moved.
Right.
The Red Sox, it was the heartbreak every year.
Patriots almost moved.
I mean, and then all of a sudden, like, the 90s rolled around, and the stars started to align, and it was like, well, let's not get too excited.
And the new logo for the new, Patriots image.
Yeah.
That guy, it looked like, everyone was saying at first, it looked like Elvis, and because everybody missed the, what's he called, the old Patriot.
The Pat Patriot.
Yeah, the Pat Patriot, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was, how do you change that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took off. They sold more merchandise.
Yeah.
So they were happy.
Yeah, I know. And now look at us.
Oh.
We're the best.
Hey, we talked about Arizona. There's Ben Rodham.
Yeah, there's Ben. Luxury Cigar Club. Shout out. JJ's with us. We will never see a rivalry like that again in sports. No, we won't.
No, cause it's just not. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same mentality.
There was like when those two teams met, there was real hatred. It wasn't just like, hey, you're good, we're good. It was like, I hate you because you wear that uniform.
Yeah. You grew up hearing that and believing that.
Yeah.
My son, who's now 21, his first team when we were in Las Vegas, I think he might have been 6. He was picked by the Yankees, and he cried because I had brainwashed him so much that we hate the Yankees, we're Red Sox. He cried. He didn't want to be on that team. And I was like, no, it's just a shirt. It's not, you're not part of the Yankees. This is the Yankees here, right? It's different. But I had brainwashed him so much that he hated the Yankees because that was just what we did.
Even in pop culture, I mean, like there was a movie I remember reading that Ben Affleck was playing a guy from New York, and they wanted him to wear a Yankees hat, and he's like, absolutely not.
That I can understand.
Like, I grew up in Boston. Like, absolutely not.
Right.
They settled on, he wore a Mets hat.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
But it was like, okay, I'll do that. But, like, absolutely not. I'll walk off this movie right now. Like, but that's the thing. Like, people, like, take it that seriously.
Yeah.
Like, even at that level, like, I don't give a shit. Like, what I'm getting paid to do this movie, I'm not wearing a Yankees hat because I'm from Boston. You know?
I started to get annoyed by it I think it was 04. Because I had missed. So 2007, I was in Colorado. I flew from Vegas to Colorado for Game 4
for the World Series.
For the World Series, so I was at that game. So
wow.
that was awesome. But in 2004, I had tickets for the World Series, but they ended up sweeping that one too.
Yeah.
But I was going back anyway, coming back from Vegas, to Boston, and for the parade, but everybody was chanting "Yankees suck," and I'm like, they have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Like there was like it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
All right. Like I didn't care.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was just like that we finally like overcame.
Yeah.
And like, look at us now. But yeah.
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 That just wasn't part of it. And it's funny the one a movie that kind of put things in perspective was Fever Pitch.
Oh yeah.
Where he was such a diehard. And I was a diehard, and it was same with like Sunday football. It's like there were rituals, right?
Yeah.
But having a young family, and then I think watching that movie and what's his name, Fallon, they were at a restaurant and they were sitting at the bar with he was there with 2 friends, but he's like, look, why are we getting so bent out of shape? These guys are sitting here, and it was Veritek and Damon.
I remember that.
And he's like,
they're out to dinner.
They're out to dinner. They don't care.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, well, that's actually pretty true. I should spend more time with my kids on a Sunday because that was like the only day that I could spend time with them because you're working, through the week and Saturdays too, and Sunday was kind of like that, that day that had the rest, and it was like, oh well, it's football Sunday, I can't do anything. After a while, I was like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. They're still getting paid, and now even more so because it's all contracts. I love it, but it's entertainment.
It's more entertainment. It's more commercialized.
Yeah.
Like back then. It was real.
Yeah.
Not like it's...
Not that it's not real now.
Yeah, it's just... But there was more... there was more passion in
Yeah.
the game. Like it felt like it meant more.
Yeah, there was a different attachment.
Yeah.
Right, it felt like. But yeah, that's funny. It's just that movie, out of old movies. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember when that movie came out too.
Yeah.
I went to the premiere for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It was funny because they were filming it, and those last scenes they added because they ended up actually winning.
Yeah, originally the
Series.
movie was supposed to just be, they lost, and
Right.
it was another year, and
Yeah.
they lived happily. And then I remember them saying like, they didn't realize they were going to go on that run, so they were like, we need to like get everyone back,
Yeah.
because like we got to film this, because like how do we not end the story? And I remember watching the real game, and then they cut to Drew and Jimmy. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And like, oh, they're filming a movie, and, and we didn't really know a lot about it at the time, so I'm like, oh, okay. And then when you came out, you're like, oh shit, like. They went back and like, oh no, we got to change the ending. I'm like, oh, I'm glad they did that.
Right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, that was pretty wild.
Anyway, Oliver. Well, we're definitely kind of past our usual time point, but we've had a lot of fun. So
Yeah. I didn't realize that.
I know.
Are you recording right now?
yeah,
Oh, all right.
yeah, we're recording.
Oh, I didn't know we started.
Yeah, it's been going.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Good.
But hey, listen,
Brought to you by Red Anchor Cigars. Oh,
those are fantastic.
This is the Gunner. I love the Gunner. Lonsdale.
That's a great size.
Awesome.
I love Lonsdales.
6.5 by 40.
Fantastic.
42. Yeah.
And that line's been a hit for you guys.
Yeah, it's been doing well.
That's been good. I like that cigar.
No, fortunate to work with some good people. It was made at Kellner Boutique Factory. So we had the Kellner family, using a lot of their tobaccos, which is in Monte Plata, which is Yamasa in the Dominican, which people are more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But just a great blend.
Yeah.
And a great line. And I would say is Henke used to come to the booth at PCA, like when we launched in 2022.
Yep.
Because that was the 250th anniversary of Red Anchor.
Yeah.
Oldest line with a band to be recognized as a cigar label. But so we worked with the Kellner family to kind of pay homage to their roots in Holland, and I would kid around because Henke would come to the booth at PCA and he would want a handful to bring back to his booth. Because I think he was doing Pro Cigar at the time, where he was, walking around, but he just wanted some of the Red Anchors because his son had, we had blended it with his son, and he had helped out, and it just became a line that he loved. It kind of reminded him of, kind of some of the older blends that he had worked on, and I would always kid around. I would go, just grab them from the factory, and you could save us both a lot of money, right? Because we're shipping them in. We got the bands on. We got the boxes. We got everything.
Right.
Just grab them from the factory.
Yeah, just take them off the top.
Yeah, I mean, save us a little bit of coin. But,
yeah.
But no, we were blessed to be able to work with such a beautiful family, and now he's celebrating 80 years, and yeah. Klaus has his own thing going, and Hendrik at KBF. So it's you're talking about the younger generations coming up in these families. Like we're starting to see that a lot more.
Nicholas
with all the
Perdomo is
families.
really stepping up with the Perdomos.
Perdomo's doing great.
Yep.
The Gomez family with LFD.
Yep.
You got the Padron kids coming up, and you're just starting to see this transition, and it's pretty wild.
Passing of the torch.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to be in the business this long and just seeing that.
It's bittersweet. You get excited. It's special.
Yeah.
But you also know what that means.
Right.
But it's life.
Yep.
But it's still cool to see that the torch is being passed down and not just being given away.
Yeah.
So it's cool. They're staying in the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're literally watching the transition in real time.
Yeah.
Like this is the next wave.
Right.
It just keeps on going.
Right.
I know. It's exciting to see what they'll do. But Oliver, listen, I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming here and hanging out with me and doing the show. And
no, thank you. Thank you for the invite.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
But it's been a good time. We've had a lot of fun.
No, I appreciate it. Great show, and everybody out there for on social media. Check us out at United Cigars, and small company, so all the support, like I was saying earlier, humbling, and we love to see the stories and the moments that people are allowing us to be a part of.
Right.
With the lines that we represent. So.
And ask your local retailer for United cigars today. And if they don't carry them, then have them reach out to Oliver and open an account.
Yes.
So
yes,
that way-
because we have some amazing things coming out next year.
Oh boy.
There will be a lot of selected tobacco. Like I said, I'm going to Madrid in January, so that's going to we're going to start announcing that and sharing a lot that's going on there. So you're really pulling back the curtain of what he's doing, and we got some special things coming out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, excited for 2026. It's
Yeah.
crazy that it's already here.
I know.
Right? It goes by too fast.
I know. 26 will be.
Anastasia's already 2,
Yeah, she's gonna be 3.
3. Yeah.
She's gonna be 3 next
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
Wow, what a wild ride.
Yeah. It goes fast.
It does.
Take lots of pictures and videos.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
It's just all her now. It's all her.
Right.
Like it's just video, everything she does. I pull my phone out. I'm like, I gotta save this.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, someday,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Embrace it.
I know. Well, Oliver, thank you for being here. Guys, thank you for listening and watching along with us. If you're listening to us later, thank you as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts on all of our platforms and as well on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to visit smokintabacco.com for more news, reviews, and updates from the cigar industry. We'll see you Saturday night.